Have United come to the correct decision?
I think they've come to the sensible decision. I think it's the decision which the majority of Manchester United fans wanted, and the majority of employees within the club as well. We did one survey on United We Stand last week, and 75% of those who answered said they didn't want to see Mason Greenwood back at Manchester United. I stood outside Old Trafford last Monday before the Wolves game for 2 or 3 hours, soaking up opinions, and people have got very strong feelings about this. It's a very emotive, serious,
Yep.
sad issue, and the majority of people who I spoke to did not want to see Mason Greenwood come back to the club.
Andy, the club's hierarchy have been criticised for the process and the time it's taken. What should they have done differently?
I don't know how long an inquiry like this should or shouldn't take. It started to drag on. It started to become a major distraction, and not in a good way, for Manchester United. I was led to believe that there would be an announcement before the Premier League started. That didn't happen. Speculation grew. There was a story last week which resulted in a backlash from fans against the idea that Manchester United were bringing him back. I'm sure Manchester United feel like they can learn lessons from the way that they conducted their inquiry. Should it have been an independent inquiry? That would may have been a better thing to do, but then who pays for the independent inquiry? Would it be Manchester United? So there's all kinds of questions here. Manchester United feel like they put Mason Greenwood and his family at the centre of the decision-making process, and that the statements which came out yesterday say that Mason Greenwood thinks it's the correct decision, that he realises that he's made mistakes, and Manchester United are going to try and help him and his family to go in what they say is a more conducive environment for his career. I think it would have been very difficult if he'd come back and played for United with a lot of fans, and especially with away fans as well. There's already songs that you're hearing at matches, so a very tricky situation.
Andy, one of the things that surprised maybe one or two Manchester United fans and football fans in general was the statement United made. I agree with you to a point. I think in some cases, when I say it's a no-win situation, what I mean is you're not going to, correctly as you've mentioned, not going to please all of the people all of the time. However, the statement, and I quote, "Based on the evidence available to us, we have concluded that the material posted online did not provide a full picture, and that Mason did not commit the offences in respect of which he was originally charged. That said, as Mason publicly acknowledges today, he has made mistakes which he is taking responsibility for." What did you think of the statement, Andy?
I felt very conflicted, as I have done at many times when I've read this. I think Manchester United have got to, the legalities of it are complicated. Mm-hmm. There's a complainant here who has a right to lifelong anonymity. Some of the evidence which the police have seen is not going to be made publicly available. And so fans are now saying that they're confused, like you did, because they want to see the evidence, but the law will not allow for that to happen. So it is very complicated. I think a lot of fans have been quite critical of the way that Manchester United have dealt with this. And you know, it's all right me talking about majorities. I spoke to a lot of people on and off the record. I spoke to a leading sports psychology last week who said that Mason Greenwood should have been kept at the club, that it was the time for supporting him, but that opinion would be abhorrent to a lot of people.
Well, Andy, I mean, it's pretty clear now, and we've been discussing it, as you can imagine, most of the morning, a lot of the morning, and Andy and myself are of the opinion now for Mason Greenwood to move on, his future will lie outside this country. Do you agree with that, and where do you see it?
I do think that everyone should try and move on, and that includes Mason's family. They want that to happen. He's just become a father himself. I think it would be a great shame if someone as talented as him was not able to use his talent to become a better person. He said that, a better father, to become a good person for society. And I don't know where he will play next. The issue is not going to go away. Common sense would make me think that he would be better off abroad, but this is a lad who grew up in Bradford and moved to Manchester, 35 miles away. There would be a major cultural change for him as well. He's just become a father, is moving abroad, the best thing for him and his young family. He may not have a choice with that, and Manchester United are working to find that right environment for him. United have got good relationships with certain clubs. On a talent level, he's incredible. I remember watching him closely during lockdown when I was able as a journalist to go inside some of the stadiums and thinking, this player is going to be world class. But this isn't just about his talent as a football player. A lot of United fans heard that tape when it came out and were absolutely appalled with what they heard.
Mm. Andy, what about we have had some of our listeners this morning talking to us about after a period potentially of rehabilitation with some added maturity from Mason Greenwood at some point down the line, years down the line, who knows, would there be any vehicle for him to come back to Manchester United?
At the moment, Manchester United do not expect that to happen. The club's focus is on finding a path for Greenwood to continue his career elsewhere. But you and I know things change. I remember speaking to some of my best contacts about a gentleman called Cristiano Ronaldo coming back to United in April 2021, and they were adamant this was never going to happen. Of course, he did come back to Manchester United, and in the court of public opinion as well, things can change. I think Mason Greenwood has admitted that he's made mistakes. I think actions will speak louder than words, that he can be rehabilitated, that he can improve as a human, and attitudes can change. I think as we speak at the moment in August 2023, the chances of him coming back are pretty slim. But a year down the line, 2 years down the line, it might be completely different. Attitudes might have totally changed towards him. That wouldn't be the first member of public or first footballer that has happened to him. And the situation may be different.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.